Hello friends from CDG Dojo. Now we're gonna go through the interface of Blender in this series of tutorials, okay? So when we open Blender, the first thing we got is the Blender splash screen, which is this, and it's got a bit of information, okay? So don't panic if you lose the splash screen. You can always click here on the Blender logo here, and voila, you find the splash screen again, okay? So Blender 2.78c, this is the build and this is the revision it got, okay? So when it got released, the 2.78, we got an A, then a B, then a C, okay? That's mostly bug fixes. They don't add features when this happens, okay? So the next build that it's gonna have new features is gonna be the 2.79, okay? Well, beside this, we have the date of the release and the hash, which is like a like a serial number. Excuse my English not being my first language, but I'm doing my best. Also, we got the links here, okay? Blender website, and well, pretty much all of this is for the Blender website, but on different sites. The interaction, we can choose from three. This is a Blender default, 3ds Max, and Maya. So what this means, if we leave it in Blender, we're gonna use Blender's default shortcuts. If we select 3ds Max, well, it's gonna use some of the 3ds Max shortcuts you already know. For example, if you come from a Maya background, when you are used to using your shortcuts for moving, rotating, or scaling in Maya, well, excuse my dog. You can always use Maya, and then you don't have to worry about navigating or starting from zero on Blender. But I highly encourage you to learn the Blender default, since it's very intuitive, and for me, well, it worked. I come from a Maya background. I also use Maya for some projects. So what else we got here? We got recent. This is for the files that we recently worked on, and recover last session. This is useful when Blender crashes. You can always start Blender again, click here in the splash screen, and click recover last session, and you'll get it from the last point it was saved. Also, if you don't want to do it from there, you can always go to file, recover last session, okay? Okay, let's jump to the viewport. On the past video, we went through the viewport, so we're not gonna do that again. I encourage you to watch the whole series. It's very short videos. I'm trying to keep a continuous pace, more dynamic, so you don't get bored or sleep over my tutorials. And the advantage of this, well, if you are fast learning, or you already have 3D experience, or you don't, the advantage of doing a video is that you can pause it, or you can either play it as many times as you want, okay? So what do we have in the viewport? Well, we have the tool shelf, which is this, and you can access it by, if you don't see it, well, by using the shortcut T of teacup, and also by clicking here in this plus sign, okay? Well, that's one side, and the other one is the properties option, shelf, which is on the other side by clicking N, or also clicking the plus sign, okay? And what do we have here? Well, this is a series of tools that we got for the object selected. As you can see, if I select a camera, well, I don't have some of the options that I had for the object. Okay, here I can either click smooth or flat. Okay, don't worry or panic. This is just a quick overview of what it is and where to find the different options, so you get familiarized with the software. Okay, when I speak of, let's say, the tool shelf, well, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and let's say I go to edit mode. Again, don't worry, we'll cover this in the coming tutorials. As you can see, well, now I have more options. Okay, and well, same here, I have the properties for this object. As you can see, I could move the location here, or either by dragging it on X2. Either way, okay. Let's keep moving. Over here, same for the viewport options. We got a object mode, edit mode, sculpt mode, vertex, weight, texture, and these are the different modes we can use. As I just hit tab to go to edit mode, well, you can do it here also by clicking. And well, we'll go through all of this when we hit modeling or Blender next steps. We got the wireframe mode. We got this is different viewport shading modes. Material, as we don't have anything applied, well, but you can see here you got more information in the viewport. You see here, if you move the lamp, the light source, well, it reflects here. Okay, but what that is what it does. So at this stage, when you start, well, you always start in solid. You don't need anything else. This is for more later on in the process. This also we're gonna cover in the next tutorials. As well, these are layers. So if you happen to click by mistake there, you can always see the active layer, or those little dots will show you what objects are on the scene. Okay, this is a timeline where we're gonna make all our animation. Same again, different tutorial. This is the outliner. Okay. I'm having a hard time pronunciating that. Here is outliner. Okay, and what it is, well, this is I spend a lot of time here when I have large scenes. Let's say I have a lot of objects, lamps, cameras, and well, it just get messy, and I remember I have to work on the object on the cube 004, and instead of looking by one here, what I can do is just hit 004 or cube, which is the name 004, and it's gonna show it to me and highlight it here in the outliner. Okay, so that's the cool thing about the outliner, that when you have large scenes, you can always have a order in your scene. That's why I highly encourage to name every single object. Again, we're going to do that in different videos, but just a quick peek. You can do it here by renaming here on the properties panel. You can rename the object. So let's say important cube. Okay, and now we renamed it. Okay, so now we have our important cube in the scene. Okay, well, that's just a quick example of the outliner, how it works. Okay, and also we can rename this here by double clicking, and let's say not important cube. There it is, not important cube. Okay, well, that was actually a camera, but never mind that, you named them. Here, well, we can either hide from the scene, lock selection, so we cannot select. As you can see, I cannot select this cube because I put a lock here, but now I can't. Okay, and also here you can show something on the scene, but if you don't want it to render, so when you hit render, it won't show. Okay, that is why you got these three little icons. I'm just going in depth. I shouldn't. I'll just jump to the properties. This is the overall properties of the scene. If you hit render, well, the active camera is going to render what it is. Okay, and well, as you see, it rendered in the 1080, but at a 50% size. That means it's half the size. Okay, so if you're gonna render animation, you gotta choose the start frame and the end frame. Okay, but again, I think I just keep going in depth. I just get too excited about Blender, and I'm really excited about sharing my knowledge with all of you on these free tutorials. And well, we'll jump to render layers. That's a whole series again. Scene, well, the information on the scene, the active camera is the one that has the black field in the triangle. As you can see, this one doesn't, this one does. So that's the active camera. Anyway, here, well, pretty much what you gotta change at the start of every scene, you gotta go here, length. If you're gonna use the Blender units, you leave it at known. If you wanna use metric units, mostly for architecture, well, you wanna use either imperial or metric. Degrees or radians, okay, and so on and so on. But this is pretty much what you change at the beginning, and that's it. What else we got here? We got the world, which is everything in the scene, but our objects. Uh, Properties, again, these properties are the same as here for the object selected. And well, a lot of a lot more properties to show, but we'll go through that in some other videos. For now, I just want to jump back here. Here is where you choose the render engine you want to use, either Blender Game, Blender Render, or Cycle Renders, which is the one that we're going to be using most of the time. I don't even think about doing a Blender Render tutorial because it's so outdated. Uh, so this is a default layout, what you saw at the beginning, okay? Oops. There we go. This is our default layout. Okay, if we're gonna go to different layouts, well, we got animation, and in which we got more options to interact with our animated objects. Same for compositing, same for game logic. If you want to create games, this is a game logic engine from Blender. Motion tracking to add your 3D objects into your footage. And oops, I lost it. Scripting, well, as the name says, UV editing and video editing, literally. Okay, so that's gonna be it for the interface video. I hope you enjoyed it and it helped. And if you got any comments, please go ahead and do so. I'm here to serve you. Bye bye.